when I first moved in here, I had signed up for 3 meals a day. Mm-hmm. But breakfast here is at 8 o'clock in the morning. So I had to set my alarm for 7:30 in order to get up and get dressed and go down and have breakfast at 8 o'clock. And after a few weeks, I decided, good Lord, I am retired. I do not have to get up with an alarm clock every morning anymore. So I canceled the breakfast thing. I get up around about, 10 o'clock or so. I make myself something to eat and just check my emails.
Welcome to the Answers for Elders radio show.
And welcome back, everyone, to Answers for Elders Radio Network, heard across the USA on your favorite podcast channel and on YouTube. We are delighted today to be here with Chateau Retirement at Chateau Pacific in Lynnwood. And like I said in the beginning of this series today, is we've had the opportunity to interview staff. We've talked to the senior executives. We even met with the CEO, Mr. Godfrey, who is just a delightful, wonderful man. And now his daughter, who is taking over the reins as CEO. And the whole family feel of the history of 25 years of being in senior living. And what does that mean? And now we get to be involved and get to know residents. Those are the people that live every single day in their community, and they experience everything that we talk about. And so, Judith, you are here. I am so excited to talk to you because you have such an interesting story. And you are a resident here at Chateau Pacific in Lynnwood. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Yes, I've lived here now for 2 and almost 3/4 years.
Oh,
and I love it here.
Oh, that is so amazing. So, Judith, you came from South Africa. And I'm really interested to, before we even get into your experience, I want to know a little bit about you. Tell me about you.
Okay, well, yes. I was born and bred in South Africa. My family had been there for quite a few generations. So I lived there, and I, was married and had 2 children, and eventually that broke up. But my daughter, I have 2 children, one son, one daughter. After my daughter finished university in Johannesburg in South Africa, she moved across to London to do a 2-year sabbatical, which was the fun thing to do for graduates at that stage. And one Friday night at a pub there, she met this American guy who was there on vacation. So one thing led to another. And of course, he came back. He lived in Portland, Oregon at the time. But they exchanged life stories via email and so on. And a few months later, she was planning to go on vacation to the US anyway. So she included Portland in her stay. And his mother, when he met her, his mom said to him, if you don't want to lose this girl, you'd better ask her to marry you. And he did, and she accepted, and she went back to London and packed up her stuff and came across, moved.
Wow.
Anyway, so long story short, I visited her a few times from South Africa, visited a few times here. And eventually she moved to Seattle. When her son was born, this was now about 19 and a half years ago. Of course, I came over to meet my new grandson.
Of course you did.
And that's when she said to me, Mom, what are you doing all on your own in South Africa? Why didn't you come and live here in Seattle? Now, my son at that stage was living in London, and he and his wife had just gotten their British citizenship. So son in London, daughter in Seattle, me on my own in South Africa. So when she said, Mom, why don't you move over here to the US? I thought that was an excellent idea. Why not?
And how long ago was that?
That was now, that was 19 and a half years ago.
Amazing.
Because I had my own psychology practice in South Africa, and at that stage I had gotten a little bit burnt out with other people's problems and issues. So I applied to come to the US.
Yes.
But that took quite it was post 9/11. So it took a couple of years, 2 years in fact, before my application was finally approved. But I arrived at SeaTac Airport on Christmas Eve, 2007. When I say Christmas Eve, I mean 7 o'clock that evening.
Yeah.
And the customs immigration guy just wanted to get home to his family. So I was through customs 5 minutes flat. And of course, my daughter and her family husband was there to meet me at the airport. And I, within a few months, I didn't want to. If I had wanted to practice psychology here in the US, I would have had to go back to school.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel like doing that. So I got a great job at the University of Washington.
Oh, amazing.
In a specific department, working with postgraduate students and guiding them and that sort of thing. And I was with the UW for 15 years until I retired. And shortly after I retired, I had been living on my own in apartments here in Lynnwood. And so after a while, my daughter said, Mom, maybe it's time for you to move into some sort of community, because she didn't think it was very safe for me to drive any longer. So she did find another place for me where I moved in. And after I was there for one day, I said to her, get me out of here. I can't stay here. The complex was like buildings with long rows of rooms in a particular corridor. And all the people in that particular section would sit and have dinner together. So every time you had a meal, it was with the same people. And the food was brought in. You had no choice of food. If you didn't like what they served, you went hungry, type of thing. So I said to her, I can't stay here. Find me another place. So I was there for exactly 2 weeks. And she had done a lot of internet searching, and she found this place, Chateau Pacific. And she said, Mom, let's go and have a look at Chateau Pacific. They can accommodate you. And the minute we walked through the door at Chateau Pacific, it was a little bit like what Ed said. I felt like, this is the place for us.
Yes.
For me.
Yes.
And everybody was so friendly, and they treated us to a meal, and we saw that they had various choices. If you don't like what's the special of the day, you have many alternatives to choose from. So we decided this is the place for me to stay. And I was here maybe 3 or 4 weeks, and somebody said, you would be the perfect person to be the president of our resident society. So I might as well. And so at the next, when it was time to come, the then president wanted to get out anyway. So at next meeting, and I had a sort of election. I had no opposition, but everybody was there, voted for me.
Yeah.
So I was voted in.
So Judith, one of the things that we've learned through the interviews is that Chateau Retirement absolutely listens to the residents, and they make a special attempt. I mean, how many times has this been brought up by multiple staff members? And obviously, you being the president of the Council of Chateau Pacific, how often are you heard, and what goes on in with the interaction with Chateau Retirement?
You are quite right. My experience, from being a psychologist, most people, regardless whether they're staff or whether they're residents, they just want to be heard. They want to have an opportunity to voice their dissatisfaction or their satisfaction or whatever. They just basically want to be heard. So I find when I come in touch with people, and I think Anne's daughter explained the meal situation here. Every time you go in for a meal, you sit with different people, so you get exposed to many different residents, and that is my experience. People just want to tell their story, and they just want to be heard, and that is what I focus on. I just like living here.
So, and that's amazing. So tell me a little bit about your day as far as when you wake up every day. Tell me about what a typical day is like here for you.
Okay, great. When I first moved in here, I had signed up for 3 meals a day, but breakfast here is at 8 o'clock in the morning. So I had to set my alarm for 7:30 in order to get up and get dressed and go down and have breakfast at 8 o'clock. And after a few weeks, I decided, good Lord, I am retired. I do not have to get up with an alarm clock every morning anymore. So I canceled the breakfast thing. And I only then now I'm just signed up for 2 meals for brunch and dinner. And I am like, and I could sleep in a little bit. That's the beauty of, not having to get up with an alarm clock. I get up around about, 10 o'clock or so. And I like to get dressed immediately. I'm not one of those people who sit around in my jammies and, all day long. And in case somebody knocks at the door. And so I make myself something to eat and just check my emails. I am similar to Anne. I have my little laptop, and I just love sitting at the laptop and checking out and current events and things that happen and my emails. And I love to watch movies on YouTube.
That's lovely.
They offer so many free movies, and that's what I do. And then I go down for lunch, and I have chat with various people. And in the afternoons, also, as Anne said, there are so many activities that are being offered here. I give kudos to Brittany and her life enrichment staff.
Yes,
really, they do a fabulous job to cater for the various tastes for different people. Not everybody likes to do the same thing. And they really cater for that quite a lot. And then once a week on a Thursday afternoon at 2 o'clock, they do a happy hour.
Hey, that's fun.
Where they usually bring in an entertainer.
Yeah.
Now, I don't drink any alcohol, but they do offer many alcohol-free options. They even, so far as got me some non-alcoholic wine.
Nice.
That's Brittany. So now they keep a stock of non-alcoholic wine for me.
And that's the thing when we talk about. The nice thing about this organization is because they own the bricks and mortar. It's a family-owned business. Everything is condensed. You don't have a third party that you have to go through.
Yes.
Or anything like that. They have the ability to be responsive to the needs and the desires of the residents. And you've been here for a while and obviously had the taste of another community too. So how has that been for you as far as having that kind of responsiveness?
Here at this place, at Chateau Pacific, I think that is exactly what we need. Anne's daughter was talking about the later stages of life, in the time of our parents and our grandparents, they didn't expect to live longer than the age of about 70, if that. And so here we are, all people in good health still, and we need to be, some of us need to be taken care of, but we just need a place where we can feel safe.
Yes, and be yourself.
And be ourselves. And I am just so happy that my daughter found this place. Because seriously, the residents here are awesome. Many of them have hearing problems, so they can't hear so well, so can't necessarily have a conversation with everybody. but there's always goodwill.
Yeah. So if you have any advice for someone that's thinking about, moving here, and you're their ambassador in more ways than one with being on the resident council, what would you say to them today?
I would say to them, if you've been thinking about moving into a retirement community, may I recommend this one, Chateau Pacific, because of the staff that are so incredibly friendly. And once again, I mentioned, they know everybody's names. Recently, like less than a week ago, another Judy moved into this community. We sat at the same dinner table last night, and she, even though she was also christened Judith, she prefers to be called Judy. So I said, well, I was called Judy for the first about 40 years of my life. And then I decided, well, I've moved into my, maturity. So now I call myself Judith. So we've come to the agreement. I'll be Judith and she's Judy, and that's how people can distinguish us. So, that's the sort of thing that we do here.
Well, I wish you all the joy and the wonderful experience that continues in years to come here. And Judith, it's been such a pleasure to visit.
Thank you so much. It's been my pleasure. Thank you.
Did you know that you can discover hundreds of podcasts in our library on senior care? So visit our website and discover our decision guides that will help you also navigate decision making. Find us at answersforelders.com.